In 1941, the world was engulfed in flames. In Europe, Hitler dominated nearly the entire continent. German forces pushed deep into the Soviet Union, from Leningrad to the blood-soaked fields of Ukraine. In North Africa, Rommel's panzers roamed the desert, driving the British to the brink of collapse. In Asia, Japan, ally of Germany and Italy, had swallowed Manchuria, invaded China, and now set its sights on the resource-rich lands of Southeast Asia. But standing in their way was the United States. America had imposed an embargo on oil, steel, and war materials, choking the lifeline of the Japanese Empire. With the ambition to rise as the ruler of the world, Tokyo approved a daring plan: strike directly at the leading power of the time, the United States. Commanding the operation, Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto would lead 6 aircraft carriers and a powerful naval and air force to deliver a thunderous blow to the heart of the U.S. Pacific Fleet at Pearl Harbor. Before the dawn of December 7, 1941, 2 of the most powerful naval and air forces on the planet were moving toward each other, not on the battlefields of Europe, but across the vast Pacific Ocean. On the Japanese side, the First Air Fleet under Admiral Chuichi Nagumo, sailing from the icy waters near the Kuril Islands. In its formation, 6 fleet carriers, Akagi, Kaga, Soryu, Hiryu, Shokaku, Zuikaku, a number never before seen in a single strike force. Alongside them were 2 battleships, 2 heavy cruisers, 9 destroyers, 8 oil tankers, and 27 submarines. On their decks, over 400 aircraft, the legendary Zero fighters, Val dive bombers, and Kate torpedo bombers, awaited the order to turn the skies over Hawaii into a storm of fire. On the American side, the U.S. Pacific Fleet anchored at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, under Admiral Husband E. Kimmel. In the harbor lay 8 mighty battleships: USS Arizona, USS Oklahoma, USS West Virginia, USS California, USS Nevada, USS Pennsylvania, USS Tennessee, USS Maryland, a steel wall of naval power. Alongside them, 8 cruisers, 30 destroyers, and over 390 aircraft, from P-40 Warhawk fighters to B-17 Flying Fortress bombers. 2 forces, 2 predators of the Pacific, but only one knew that this peaceful tropical morning was about to turn into hell. At dawn, December 7, 1941, the skies over Oahu were calm, the sea gently rippled. In the harbor, the battleships rested silently. Many sailors were still asleep, others were having breakfast. On the airfields, American planes were parked wingtip to wingtip, a measure to prevent sabotage, but one that made them easy targets. Far to the north, 183 Japanese aircraft lifted off from the decks of 6 carriers, flying low to avoid radar. When Oahu's radar operators picked up the signal, they mistook it for a flight of B-17s arriving from California. No alarms, no preparation. No one knew the nightmare was only minutes away. Oro 748. The sky roared. Mitsuo Fuchida radioed, "Tora, Tora, Tora." The signal that complete surprise had been achieved. Bombs and torpedoes rained down. USS Arizona took a direct hit from an armor-piercing bomb, detonating its forward magazine. A massive explosion split the ship in 2, killing over 100 sailors instantly. USS Oklahoma rolled over, trapping hundreds inside. USS West Virginia and USS California sank at their moorings. USS Nevada tried to make for open sea, but was heavily damaged and forced to beach. First wave, 183 aircraft, struck in 3 groups. Zero fighters sweeping the skies and strafing airfields. Val dive bombers hammering runways and hangars, and Kate torpedo bombers skimming low over the water to strike the battleship Peace. Wheeler Field, Hickam Field, Ford Island, all engulfed in smoke and fire. More than half of America's aircraft were destroyed before they could even take off. Amid the chaos, 2 young pilots, George Welch and Kenneth Taylor, managed to reach a small, undamaged airstrip and scramble their P-40 Warhawks. They dove into the Japanese formation, shooting down 6 enemy planes, one of the few organized acts of resistance that morning. At headquarters, Admiral Husband E. Kimmel and Lieutenant General Walter Schultz, commander of the Army in Hawaii, received word of the attack only after bombs were already falling. Communications broke down. Anti-aircraft guns fired sporadically, with some units even mistakenly shooting at friendly positions. The United States was caught completely off guard, forced to fight back in chaos. Or waiting before the second wave arrived. 67 Japanese aircraft swooped in, targeting what remained. Aircraft hangars, fuel depots, repair yards, and ships still afloat. The USS Pennsylvania, dry dock, was hit. Destroyers Cassie and Downs were destroyed. Anti-aircraft fire came heavier, bringing down several Japanese planes, but it was too little, too late. In the final minutes of the attack, the sounds of bombs, screaming engines, and flak blended into a symphony of destruction. Then, silence. In less than 2 hours, the Pacific Fleet lay in ruins. 8 battleships sunk or heavily damaged, over 180 aircraft destroyed, 2,403 Americans killed, and 1,178 wounded. Japan's losses, just 29 aircraft, 5 midget submarines, and 64 personnel. An almost unbelievable disparity. It was a near-perfect surprise attack, leaving the United States shocked and furious.